Welcome. Welcome to the webinar this morning. So pleased that all of you could join us today. I see that go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat box, and we'll be getting started in just a moment. We're also streaming on Facebook Live for this webinar. I see we have some participants from Japan, from West Virginia. So this is very exciting, and we hope that this webinar will help answer any questions that you have about attending the conference. I see we have someone from Pakistan here as well. Welcome. Next slide, please. So today on the webinar, we're going to cover a number of topics about arriving to the conference program, what will happen at the Youth Summit, ways that you can share about your experience on social media or capturing your experience through photo and video, what to bring with you to the conference, and other things you might need to know, especially if this is your first time traveling to the US. We will be we'll be doing two short Q&As. We'll do a Q&A after Christine McCaleb will be sharing about arrivals and information about how you're going to get from the airport to the conference venue in Winchester, and about checking in for the conference as well. And so we know that there will be a number of questions at that time, so we'll take a short Q&A at that point, and then we will do another Q&A at the end of the webinar. Next slide, please. Just a reminder that if you have any questions, we'll be updating the FAQ page with additional information. So please go to the FAQ page on the iEARN conference website first and see if your question may be answered there. If you don't see the answer to your question on the FAQ page, go ahead and email us at conference@us.iern.org. This is the absolute best way to get in touch with us and to make sure that your question is answered in a timely fashion. If you email us individually, the information may actually get lost, or it may have to get shared with another staff member. And so the best way is to send it to the conference email, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Next slide, please. Oh, I just remember, so it's summer solstice today. Oh, and the Northern Hemisphere. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that so happy summer solstice for those in the Northern Hemisphere today. Oh, I see we have someone else joining us from Colorado. Welcome. So I'm now going to pass the mic to Christine, who will share all about arrivals and checking in for the conference. So, and remember that we'll do a short FAQ after this section. So if you have questions, please enter them into the chat box now, or you can post them in the Q&A box as well.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay? Hopefully, great, wonderful. Awesome. Well, happy summer solstice to everybody. Like Julia said, I wanted to share some information about arrival. A lot of you have asked questions already about what you're going to do once you arrive at the airport. So as we have been mentioning, we do recommend, for those of you who have not purchased your tickets yet, that you arrive at the Dulles Airport. This is the airport where we're going to be providing transportation between the transportation to Winchester, so it's most convenient if you fly into that airport. For those of you who are arriving early, since transportation will be provided on July 8th, if you are arriving a little early and you want to stay in the Washington, D.C. area, we have researched a number of hotels that are near the airport that do provide a free shuttle between the hotel and the airport. That would be really convenient if you do choose to stay locally, and those are available there on the FAQ. Now, when you do arrive at the airport, whether you're arriving on the 8th or whether you are arriving early and then making your way to the airport, we do ask that once you go to baggage claim, look for volunteers who are wearing an iEARN conference t-shirt and holding an iEARN conference sign. Again, most of them will be within the baggage claim area, or for those who are arriving internationally, we may have a volunteer also just outside of arrivals, but again, after baggage. So please look for those volunteers. And what they'll do is they'll take you to the area, the waiting area, where you will wait until the bus arrives for you to get on your designated bus, your assigned bus, which will then take you to Winchester, specifically to Shenandoah. So as it says here, that transportation from the airport is included for anyone that's registering with accommodations. If you have registered for the conference without accommodations, but you still need transportation from the airport, it's just an additional fee of $20, and that's round trip. So that will also include your trip back to the airport as well, if you so choose. You can actually make that choice when you fill out the travel form. And this, I think, is a good opportunity to remind you all, if you have not yet filled out your travel form, please, please, please do that right away, because we are using that information to assign you to buses and to make sure that no matter what time you arrive on July 8th, that we will have transportation for you, as well as transportation for you on July 14th when you depart. But it cannot make those arrangements until we have your travel form. So please fill that out. And as it says, we are only providing transportation between Dulles Airport and Shenandoah University. So if you have made travel arrangements to arrive at a different airport in the area, or to arrive by train, you will, if you go to the FAQ, there's some information there, a lot of instructions on different ways to get yourself to the Dulles Airport, which is where the buses will be picking up and dropping off. And so if you just find your way there, and by the designated time that we've assigned you to a bus, then you'll be able to get your transportation to Winchester. Now, I know a lot of you have questions about when you're going to find out about the bus times, et cetera. And because we are still collecting those travel forms, we are still putting together a final list of those times. So just be looking for those emails in the next week or so, 1 to 2 weeks just prior to your arrival. So you will still be getting that information soon. Great. And then once we pick you up, and the buses will take you to Shenandoah, we will drop you off right in front of the building called Funkhauser Gore Hall. Registration will be open from 7:30 a.m. till about 11 p.m. on Sunday, July 8th. For those of you checking in / arriving after 11 p.m. on Sunday, we will have your keys for you, and we will have an alternative registration time, which I will talk about here in a moment. At this time, so when you're dropped off at the Funkhauser Gore Hall on Shenandoah University's campus, you'll be able to check in both for the conference and for your accommodations. So we'll give you your room keys then, as well as all of your conference materials, and you'll be able to sign up for your excursions. So please do arrive with some idea of what excursions you're interested in, so that you can sign up for those on Sunday and or on Monday. On conference day 1, which is Monday morning, breakfast for those of you staying at Shenandoah University and at the hotels, breakfast is available from 6:30 to 9, and transportation to John Hanley High School will be provided for you every single day, but specifically on that Monday, transportation will start going from 7:30 a.m., leaving from the dining hall on Shenandoah's campus, and then also from Hampton Inn, which is one of the hotels where some people are staying nearby. And those buses will be circulating from 7:30 until 9, taking groups of people as they're ready to go to to campus where the conference is starting. So Brett, you can, if you are an early riser or if you have jet lag, you're welcome to have breakfast early at 6:30, maybe go to your room and rest, get your things together, and then start catching those buses at 7:30. But if you do want to sleep in a little bit, you can have breakfast a little later and then still catch a bus at 8:30 or closer to 9. Once you get to John Hanley High School that Monday morning, for those who did not register for the conference, there will be another registration desk available. Again, also for those who are maybe staying with us without accommodations or who live locally, you will be able to arrive on Monday at John Hanley High School and register there as well and get your conference materials. Gloria will also have a table set up for excursion sign up. So on Monday, if you didn't make your decision on Sunday, you can still pay for and register for your excursion options on Monday. Now, again, please don't forget to fill out that form, those travel forms, because again, there's a lot of important information such as your t-shirt size and meal preferences. So if you do have special meal or dietary restrictions, we are asking those questions on this most recent travel form. So please fill that out so that we can do our best to accommodate any special needs or requests that you might have. Awesome. So how do you get around Winchester? Well, we will have daily transportation provided to and from accommodations and to John Hanley High School every morning and every evening. So those buses, as I mentioned, those bus schedules will be shared with you when you check in. And as I mentioned, they will be kind of in a loop, and you'll be able to take those every morning to John Hanley. And programming starts usually every morning around 9 a.m. And then in the evening time, program usually winds up or finishes up around 5 p.m. And then there will be buses for about an hour that will be shuttling people back to the accommodations if there isn't something else planned for the evening, which I think my team here will go into details shortly. But that transportation will be provided. And other than that, the accommodations, which is Shenandoah's campus and the hotels, are all about a 30-minute walking distance from the downtown, the Old Town shopping and dining area, where there are a number of restaurants who have graciously donated to our event that we encourage you to go and explore and to enjoy. And then there also is within a 5 to 10 minute walking distance around the university's campus and the hotels are a number of restaurants and grocery stores and convenience stores if you need anything. We will be providing you with a list when you check in of different shops around that are within the close vicinity to campus in case you need them as a reference, but pretty much anything that you might need or want is within a 5 to 10 minute walk. Beyond that, though, we do recommend that you download a ride-sharing app if you don't have one already. Uber and Lyft are both very common in Winchester and easy to find. Also, if you're staying in Washington, D.C. and want to get around, they're very convenient. It's an easy way to call a taxi. They can take you anywhere for a very reasonable, affordable price. And then you can also share with some of your other friends at the conference to get around if you want to explore other parts of Winchester or go out into the evenings and have late dinners, etc. Thanks, Julia.
Great, thank you, Christine. Really appreciate it. If we can go to the next slide, we'll be doing a short Q&A. If anyone has any questions specifically about transportation and checking in for the conference. If there aren't any questions at this point, we'll move on to the next segment. And we'll be updating during the conference, we'll be updating everyone on a daily basis about what's happening the following day so that you'll receive information, so you'll be up to date. And once you arrive, of course, you'll receive a welcome packet and a lot of the information that you might be needing to know about the next day, about where you need to be, what time is breakfast. All of that will be very clear once you're in Winchester. So I don't see any specific questions. Christine, I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to further clarify. I know when we did the webinar yesterday, we had a number of questions that were very specifically about individual arrivals. So yes, all that would, yeah.
I think the only other thing that I did not mention is for those that are assembly members. So if anyone is watching this webinar later or those now, if you are an assembly member, we are aware that you are arriving on Friday the 6th. And so even though when we talk about providing transportation only on Sunday the 8th, for those that are attending the assembly meeting, we are preparing transportation for you on Friday the 6th. So please, it is important that you send us your travel information right away so that we can make those special arrangements for your arrival if you're an assembly member. And then beyond that, yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else has other questions. I saw that someone asked about the color of the t-shirts, and they will be purple. So look for the purple shirts, and again, the signs as well, and near the baggage claim specifically. And also, we will be sending all of this information out again in an email. So as a reminder, but just in case you have questions now.
Great, thank you so much, Christine. I'm now going to pass the mic to Jennifer Russell, who will share about the conference program.
Great. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you're joining us from. We are very excited to have a full packed, exciting, creative schedule for you for your conference week here with us. And so as Christine described just a minute ago, we'll have the arrivals and check-in happening on Sunday, July 8th. And we'll kick it off on Monday at 9 a.m. with our opening ceremony at the conference. So on the screen here, you can see sort of a general outline of the day-to-day. Each day will roughly start with a plenary session and then move to different sessions with workshops and roundtables, Ignite talks, or tech and innovation labs, and some other unconference sessions. We'll have a lunch scheduled during the conference from roughly 12:30 to 2. And there are some evening activities as well that are described here on the schedule. And I know Faye is going to go into more detail a little bit later on in our webinar about what's happening in Winchester on Tuesday night. And of course, the Culture Night, Taste of Virginia, and Gala that's happening later in the week on Thursday and Friday. If you'd like to get a more specific view of each session day to day, we're going to show you how to do that in just a moment. So let me give you the overview on the next slide of just some of the keynotes and plenaries that we will have organized during the week. So we do have Dr. Fernando Reimers from Harvard and Casey Free Jennings of Girl Rising joining us for the opening as keynotes. Tuesday's keynotes and plenary sessions will be educator focused on best practices in global education and project-based learning with Adam Gary and Jennifer Klein. And we have an educator panel from iEarners as well. On Thursday, we're having our youth focus plenary where we get to hear from the youth. We'll have Shomi Chowdhury from joining us as a youth activist and sharing. We'll also have a youth panel of iEARN students who are going to share about their work for us during the plenaries. On Friday, we'll close out with our last two keynotes, Dana Mortensen from World Savvy and John Paul Gonzalez, a former educator and motivational speaker. And we'll have a nice closing ceremony to tie everything up. So that's just a quick overview of our plenary sessions. And then if we take a look at the next slide, we've got a little bit more detail of, for the educator conference, a little bit of the breakdown of what we have planned. And of course, Emma, my colleague, will share about the Youth Summit and the planning and breakdown in just a moment. We have roughly 50 workshops submitted from presenters all over the world, 30 roundtable discussions that are organized by the presenters, 20 Ignite talks, a few of which are taking place in the plenary auditorium hall. We'll have a poster hall and exhibitor fair, a technology and innovation lab, a few structured unconference sessions to promote exchange and dialogue between participants. And as I mentioned, we have seven keynotes and a couple panel discussions and presentations happening at the plenaries. So thank you to all of the presenters who are preparing the sessions and organizing workshops and roundtables and posters to bring to the conference to make it very interactive and really addressing all of the different sub-themes for our conference theme, Global Collaboration for Sustainable Development. So if you want a granular look of the Conference and Youth Summit sessions, you can go to the website, iEARN2018.org, /sessions, or you can navigate there from the program tab and click on sessions and find your way there. So /sessions will take you here. You can search by a keyword. So if you're a presenter and want to see your presentation, you can put your name there, or if you put your title, and it'll pop up all of the sessions. Some of the presenters have included photos so you can see them. And there's descriptions so you can see the location and times of the sessions as you see here on the screen. So this is a way that you can take a look at all of the details for the sessions, and if you're a presenter, see when you're scheduled and double check your session in that way. And I'm going to pause now, and there's a lot more great activities planned as part of the Youth Summit that I know Emma's going to share about next.
Good morning if you're joining from the US, and good evening if you're joining from elsewhere. So I'm going to talk very quickly about the Youth Summit. We have 17 countries represented at this year's iEARN Youth Summit and 170 participants, which is just so exciting. So if you're educators and you're bringing your youth, share this big number with them. And if you're youth tuning into this, I hope you're ready to meet a lot of people from all around the world. In terms of our sessions, we have over 35 sessions for youth to attend, and they're the exact same type of sessions that Jen was just mentioning, the roundtable, workshops, Ignite style talks, and posters. And they will be presented by students and educators from 12 different countries. So it'll be a great opportunity for everyone to be able to learn something about another country and hopefully get some ideas that they can bring back to their own schools and communities. Just like the conference, you can view all of the Youth Summit sessions at the website listed on your screen. And we're hoping that you will start to browse through those and figure out which ones you're really excited to go to. So in addition to the sessions that we have, we've also spent a lot of time scheduling youth-specific activities for our awesome Youth Summit participants. We're really excited that this Youth Summit is going to strike a balance between project and classroom-driven sessions, as well as special events and activities that will just create a fun, positive, and friendly environment for the youth. So this is a breakdown of some of the special things we have planned for the youth. Monday, in addition to the welcoming ceremony that will be conference and Youth Summit wide, we're also going to have welcome activities just for the youth. We're hoping this will invite everyone from all over the world in an interactive way to spark conversation and friendship and just set the tone for the week. So they'll be doing games, icebreakers, and activities. Tuesday, we will have sessions in the morning, special sessions as well with, we'll be viewing some of the Girl Rising documentary. And then we're going to do community service activities around the Winchester community in the afternoon. So all the youth will be able to select from a diverse array of projects such as gardening, a park cleanup, organizing a reading resource room at a local elementary school. Thursday, we're going to do a group-wide project that's led by educators. And we also have unconference sessions where we're hoping it'll foster deep dialogue and reflection on the role of youth in their communities, especially with how they align with the Sustainable Development Goals. And finally, on Friday, we're going to have a reflection, which will really heavily address the conference theme of global collaboration for sustainable development and what the role is for youth in this theme. And then we're going to close the Youth Summit with an iEARN project one of our cornerstone projects, the Talking Kites, and that will be led by a number of educators from different countries. So I'm really excited about that project. And now I believe we are headed over to Faye. Is that right? Okay.
And I live in West Virginia, very close to Winchester, where I taught for 10 years. I am helping iEARN as a local volunteer coordinator, and I'd like to share some information about activities that are taking place in and around West Winchester. On Tuesday evening, rather than having dinner at Shenandoah University, you will have the opportunity to have dinner on your own in Old Town Winchester. This is a part of town that has many historic buildings, and it's also a very scenic part of town that is a pedestrian mall. There's several blocks where cars do not travel, but where you can walk through the mall, as you see in the video there in the lower right. Very scenic and lovely. Over 30 restaurants that you can choose from, around 50 shops. So we wanted to give you ample time to spend time in one of the best areas in Winchester, which is Old Town. We do ask that you look at the Taste of Virginia donors that is posted on the website and patronize these restaurants who are donating for another event that I'll talk about soon. There will be shuttle service provided from 5 p.m. from John Hanley High School and from Shenandoah University, doing loops from those two places to Old Town from 5 o'clock until 10 p.m. We'll have school buses until 8 p.m. And after that, for 2 hours from 8 to 10, the local tourism board is going to provide a trolley shuttle for those who wish to stay out a little later that evening. I also encourage you to visit 3 particular places that evening in Old Town. One is the Hanley Regional Library, which is a phenomenal architectural structure built with the same funding that John Hanley High School was built with. It's an amazing public library, and their staff will be expecting you to stop in and tour it and say hello to them. There's also a Civil War museum that's directly on the Walking Mall that normally charges a fee and closes at 5 o'clock, but they are going to stay open that evening just for us until 8 p.m. and they're not going to charge an admission to iEARN Conference and Youth Summit attendees. So use your badge and enter that museum to learn more about the Civil War in United States history. There's also a lovely local bookstore called the Winchester Book Gallery. You know that I'm a lover of books, and this is an amazing bookstore. The owner of that bookstore is partnering with iEARN to provide books for sale during the conference on Monday and Tuesday as well. But she is hosting an author reception, reading, and book signing that evening from 6 to 8 p.m. Keynote speaker Jennifer D. Klein will be one of the authors featured, and perhaps a few other of the keynote speakers will be there as well. Okay, the next slide. The next slide reviews with you some of the information about Culture Day excursions. All day on Wednesday, July 11th, we will not be at Hanley High School. You will have the option of selecting from 4 different excursions, which I'll review on the next slide. But it's important for you to know that there will be early departures and that we have full day events to really maximize the time that you have for these excursions. Excuse me. We ask you to please be prepared to sign up and pay in cash upon arrival Sunday at registration or early Monday morning at registration. We need a final count of who's attending each of the excursions by 10 a.m. on Monday. You can get more information about the excursions, more specifics and pricing available on the website, and the link is posted there for you. The next slide. Okay, the next slide shows us those 4 different options, just a quick summary of them. The first option is the Virginia Landmarks Tour, where you will ride through Shenandoah National Park on your way to Luray Caverns, which is a geological wonder, and you will have a guided tour of the caverns and just a brief time to visit 2 small local museums near Luray Caverns. You'll then come back to Winchester and enjoy time at Shenandoah Valley Museum and a box lunch in the gardens there. Following lunch, you will go back to Shenandoah University for a performance of the play West Side Story in the air-conditioned comfort of the beautiful theater at Shenandoah University. After the play, you'll take the school bus to Creekside Station, which is another lovely part of town, and there you will have dinner on your own and have the opportunity to shop in the different stores in that area, should you choose to do that. Option number 2 is for the outdoor adventure enthusiasts, and it's in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, also a very historical town from the Civil War era. And in the morning, you will be able to bicycle along the C&O Canal that runs along the Potomac River. You'll have lunch at the Clarion Hotel, get out of the heat for a little while. And then in the afternoon, you may choose between tubing on the Shenandoah River or the Potomac River. One is the flat water, more gentle experience, and the other is a little more adventurous with rapid water as well. And then you'll have some time in Harpers Ferry to have dinner on your own and tour the town of Harpers Ferry before returning to the university. Option number 3 is the Washington, D.C. Landmarks Tour. It takes about 2 hours to get to Washington, D.C. from Shenandoah University. You'll enjoy a quiet ride there where you can rest on your way. And then the bus will drop you off at the World War II Memorial, where you will have a walking tour of about 5 memorials along the National Mall. And the bus will pick you up near the Vietnam Memorial and take you to a place called National Place, where you'll have a voucher to choose from one of 6 eateries there for lunch. After you eat lunch, you'll be able to walk to President's Park and view the White House, and then on to the Smithsonian Museum area, where we encourage you to visit either the Natural History Museum or the American History Museum. It really takes at least 2 to 3 hours to really see so much of what's offered in either of those museums. And you'll be able to have dinner in that area. There's a building called the Reagan Building, which has a large food court. You can again select from a number of eateries on your own to have dinner there, or in one of the museum cafeterias, or if you want to be outside, there are a number of food vendors in the area that you could eat outdoors. The 4th option is if you want to do Washington, D.C. on your own. We would simply provide transportation to and from Washington, D.C. You would plan your own itinerary and decide how much time you wanted to spend where. If you wanted to go shopping or visit a friend, you can do option number 4. Okay, so it's important that you try to decide before coming which option you would like to do, be prepared to pay for it. And I would suggest that if you want the Virginia Landmarks or the Outdoor Adventure and you have not yet emailed conference support indicating your preference for those, there will be limited number of participants on those 2 tours. You may want to send an email to the conference support about those. Okay. The next slide highlights the Taste of Virginia. This is going to take place on Thursday, July 12th, immediately after the workshops. So you won't be going to back to Shenandoah University after the workshops that day. It'll be a wonderful long day at the high school. And we have asked local restaurants and food and drink providers to donate items of their choice for a buffet dinner that will highlight the cuisine found in Virginia. You can see from the pictures there that a lot of it is American and local cuisine that if you have not ever experienced, you'll have the chance to. But Winchester also has a lot of ethnic restaurants, and many of them are also donating to the Taste of Virginia. So there will be diverse cuisine for you to choose from. And again, we ask you to please patronize these donors because they have generously donated large amounts of food for our Taste of Virginia experience. Okay, on the next slide highlights what's going to happen after the Taste of Virginia, and that's Culture Night, and Emma is going to talk to you about Culture Night.
Hi again, everyone. Is happening right after the Taste of Virginia. It will be at John Hanley High School from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and this is on Thursday evening. Next slide, please. So we're really excited that this year we are going to have Culture Night open to the public. So members from the community members from Winchester will be able to come and attend the event so the iEARN global spirit can continue to spread. This year, due to the large number of countries, again, we have over 50 countries, we have to limit the performances to be 3 minutes. I know this might be a disappointment to some of you, but just because of time constraints and with the transportation issue of they will be at the high school, so we have to bus everyone back to where you're staying. We have to end at 10 p.m. So because of that, we really ask that everyone respects the 3-minute time limit. We suggest that you just perform a skit, a dance, or song, poetry, and just are really focusing on one aspect of your culture instead of trying to show everything. Just try to show one snapshot of it. We also encourage everyone to wear their favorite cultural clothing. Since we are not going to be going back to our dorms or wherever you're spending the night during the day, you should bring your clothes with you to John Hanley High School the morning of. So when you go to attend sessions, just remember to bring your cultural clothing that you would like to wear to Culture Night later in the evening. And you can change in the bathroom at John Hanley High School. Finally, group leaders and iEARN country coordinators have been contacted about Culture Night guidelines. So I think we have a poll that we can put up right now just to see if anyone on this webinar has received one of those. There we go, has received an email about Culture Night. So if you could just take a second to fill that out. And again, this would only be for group leaders. My colleague Signe and I have gone through and identified people that, you know, either taking the lead on registration, or especially if you're coming with a big group of youth, or iEARN country coordinators. Because we're just trying to start to understand what people will be doing and collect the resources that you might need during your Culture Night. So I think if we're ready, we can maybe put up the response to that poll. Okay, so 11% of you have received the survey about Culture Night. And again, if you haven't, don't worry about it. It means that someone else from your country has received it, and they're just responding with some information about resources that you might need or what you all are envisioning on doing for Culture Night. This is a reminder to those of you who did receive that email. Please respond to the survey that we sent in the email by Monday, June 25th. Signe and I will continue to be in touch with you so we can just make sure that this runs as smoothly as possible. And I'm happy to answer any questions during Q&A.
Great. Thank you, Emma. We're passing the mic back to Faye in Winchester, or in on location.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'd also like to share some information with you about how we will spend our last night together. There's an old American jazz song called "It'll Be a Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight." And hot meaning not weather-wise hot, but hot meaning exciting, fun, time to party together. And so that's what our gala event is going to be like. It'll take place on Friday night, July 13th at 7 p.m. So you will have time to go back to the dorm, rest a bit after our closing ceremony, shower, get ready for the evening. We'll have shuttle transportation from the university area and hotel to Old Town. It's going to take place at First Presbyterian Church, and be sure to notice the church when you're walking on the walking mall on Tuesday evening. There's a water fountain right across from it, so you won't miss it. There's an old stone structure there that was the first Presbyterian Church that was built in the mid 1700s. The members of the church now attend the larger church that you see with the steeple there, and that is actually on the National Historic Registry as well. It was built in the mid 1800s, has a beautiful sanctuary area. But the church added on a modern worship area that they call the Fellowship Hall. And that's where the gala event will be, because it's large enough to accommodate all of us. It's air conditioned and truly lovely and very comfortable. So the dinner will be a casual American cuisine served buffet style barbecue dinner, but with different options to meet various dietary restrictions. And you can dress however you would like. We do encourage you to think about wearing cultural clothing again, which would be great for picture taking, or you can dress comfortably in summer party wear, but be sure to wear comfortable shoes and come prepared to dance, because we'll have some music and hope to truly celebrate the great week that we're going to have together with you.
Great, thank you so much, Faye. I know we're all really looking forward to all these really fun cultural activities. Great. So I'm going to go in. I'm sure you're wondering what the weather is going to be like in Winchester and what to bring with you. So it's going to be, as Faye was talking about it being hot in a different way, it's going to be actually quite warm during your visit. It's expected to be the average temperature in Winchester during the July month is 86 degree Fahrenheit high, 65 degree Fahrenheit low, and that's 30 degrees Celsius, 18 degrees Celsius. It also can be sometimes it can be rainy in Virginia during the summer. So thinking about those two things while you're packing is that you're going to want to bring comfortable clothing for the warm summer months. Keep in mind not to bring things that are too revealing. Dress like you would be going to school for the youth. But we want to make sure everyone is comfortable. So I recommend light layers, bringing some light sweaters or jackets with you. The buildings during the conference at John Hanley High School will be air conditioned. So it may be 86 degrees Fahrenheit or even 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside, but it might be quite cool inside. You may want to bring an umbrella or some rain gear in case it does rain during your time. And then keep in mind bringing some additional clothing for the cultural excursions. If you're planning on doing the outdoor excursion where you're bike riding and rafting, you may want to bring some more exercise type wear. And make sure you wear comfortable shoes and trainers for walking around. We want everyone to be comfortable and able to walk for many hours or be on your feet if you are able to do so. For Culture Night, don't forget to bring your traditional clothing, something that represents your country. I know us here at the office, the U.S. office, we're trying to think of something fun to wear. We're all looking into different outfits we can bring. Mm-hmm. For the gala, it's not going to be such a dressy event, but we recommend bringing some something fun, party wear, or something comfortable. And just be ready to dance. You're also welcome to wear your traditional clothing at the gala as well. The other thing to bring with you is some small toiletries. Whether you're staying, no matter what accommodation you might be staying in, it's good to have, small bottles of shampoo, conditioner, and soap on you. If you forget these items, there will be some stores nearby that you can go and purchase these things. But if there's particular items that you like to have with you, make sure you have those just in case you don't have, things are going to move quite quickly, so you may not have time to go and purchase these items once you arrive. Some other optional things to bring with you are some small gifts from your home country. You'll find when you arrive that some of the conference attendees who've been coming to many conferences will have little gifts on them, bracelets, fans, keychains, something small that you can pack in your suitcase that's not too, we don't want you to be spending tons of money, but it's nice to have these things on hand as a way to greet your friends that you've made at the conference or who you've been connecting with virtually over the years. You may want to bring your country's flag to have and wave around during cultural night. The other thing to bring, especially if you're presenting, is thinking about bringing a laptop or other electronic devices. I highly recommend that if you are presenting to have your presentation on a flash drive, USB, just in case there are some issues with transferring that from your computer to a presentation. There will be Wi-Fi available at John Hanley, so you'll be able to use that to present. Next slide, thank you. Just want to talk about some other additional U.S. travel essentials that you may want to think about or bring with you. Thinking about when you arrive in the U.S., exchanging for U.S. currency, we highly recommend that if you are able to bring a bank card, an ATM card from your home country, so you can take money directly out of ATM machines. Something I found too is that you will most likely want to alert your bank that you are traveling overseas. I had the unfortunate problem of studying abroad for 6 months and having my bank card canceled within the first 2 days of my arrival because I did not alert my bank that I was traveling to India. You can also, once you arrive at the airport, there are exchange kiosks so that you can exchange your money directly there. And we highly recommend you doing the exchange right when you arrive at the airport, if possible. It may also be possible to exchange currency at a U.S. bank once you are in Winchester, if they are able to take your country's currency. The other thing you may want to think about is using your cell phone while you're abroad. You can purchase a prepaid SIM card once you arrive at the airport, the Dallas airport. We have more information about that in the FAQ page if that's of interest. And then there are other places where you can purchase SIM cards at various electronic stores. But it's helpful to take care of these things right away when you arrive. Think also about having power adapters or converters for your electronics. If you are bringing your cell phone or other electronic devices, the US standard voltage may be different from your home country, and so you may want to purchase a converter to make sure that it doesn't, your device is going to work properly and isn't going to get ruined, and you'll be able to charge your phone while you're here. We do recommend that you travel as light as possible. If there are things that you are worried about losing or having damage, maybe keep those at home And it's always just good to be traveling light and have just, one suitcase with you is ideal. Next slide. Great. Now I just wanted to share a little bit about how you can capture your experience while you are at the conference or even leading up to the conference. I know many of you are on social media, and I've already seen some wonderful posts. We asked on Facebook and our other social media platforms for conference participants to share or past conference participants to share their favorite memories. We have this wonderful one from Chris Bear that you can see from the conference in 2014. I thought this was a lot of fun. I'm not sure what the context was for this, but everyone is jumping. And it's just like a great way to capture so many different faces from that conference. I wish I had been there. Looked like a lot of fun. We have so when you're posting, you can follow us on all of our sites. We have specifically on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and make sure that you tag your posts with hashtag iEARN2018. And that way we'll be able to see what you've posted, and we can repost it and share it out with the wider community. And others who are attending the conference can also see, follow that hashtag and see what you've been posting, and you can do the same. We've also created a small social media toolkit that you can find. I've added this to the FAQ page as well. So if you're interested in, you're not sure what to post, or you want some sample images to post out, check out that toolkit, and that should help get you started. Before the conference, if you want to do some posts out, some topics you can post on our packing. We have this picture of Signe, who was an iEARN USA staff member who was getting ready for the conference last year. And we loved that she was packing really light. She has everything that she was bringing with her on her. And we just thought it was such a great visual of how to be prepared and comfortable so she can carry everything on her for the conference. You can also post about what you might be looking forward to at the conference, sharing, what are you looking forward to, the cultural excursions of certain session. It's a great chance for you, if you're presenting, to plug your session and tell others to come and check out, post the time and the topic, and invite the rest of the community to come to your session. We also recommend that you post about your favorite past conference moments, which I have some examples here from past conference participants. Next slide. And then during the conference, share out your favorite moments. It's a great way for you to remember and share with the other attendees of the conference and your community back home about what you're up to in Winchester, Virginia. If you're not a social media, you're not into social media, we also recommend some other ideas. You can journal about your experience. And then if you're interested, you're welcome to share that with us afterwards. You can create a photo album, create a video, and really interested to see your other creative ideas that you might be, and feel free to email those to us or share those in any way that you'd like. Great, we've reached the Q&A, the second Q&A section of the webinar today. I see one question so far about where will this PowerPoint be posted. We have, this PowerPoint is actually already posted. It's on the conference website, iEARN2018.org /webinars. And I'll add that to the chat box as well, so everyone has that link. We'll also be posting this video there as well, so that if you want to look back at any of the text or hear answers, you'll be able to do so. I'm now going to, oh, we have one more poll. So how excited are you for the conference? We have 4 options: bouncing off the walls, which is a bit of an English idiom, which means that you're so excited that you can't contain your energy and you're actually bouncing on the walls around you. Counting down the days, barely sleeping, or excited but no one can tell. You're a little bit more stoic. So go ahead and put your answer there.
I'm going to answer this question about
Mm-hmm. We got the answer back. Oh, it looks like about half of you are bouncing off the walls. Mm-hmm. Some of you are counting on the days, barely sleeping, and some of you are a little bit more stoic. So I can't wait to see all of you there. I'm going to now pass the mic to Jennifer Russell, who's going to answer a question.
Okay, thanks, Sada. I see you put a question in the chat box about amenities provided at the university accommodation. So we did have a range of registration types available for affordability for all of our participants. And on the website, the private and hotels, of course, is all of the amenities you'd expect of a hotel. But for the university accommodations, there's fewer amenities as it is more dormitory style to keep the cost low for our participants. So while there will be sheets and towels and blankets and pillows and all of the normal things you'd expect there, there will not be laundry, iron, hair dryer, or those things provided in the university accommodation. And additionally, there will not be shampoos or soaps provided. So that's why we encourage you to pack those items, those personal items for if you're staying at the university accommodation. There will also not be housekeeping at university accommodation as it's quite different from a hotel. So if you registered for the private hotel option, those amenities might be available to you. But if you chose one of the dormitory, quad, or suite options at the university, please be prepared to pack your own soaps and shampoos and toiletry items, as well as if you would like to pack your own hair dryer or items such as those. We'll be sure to point out to you where there are some stores close by where you can buy those toiletry items if you do not wish to pack them. So again, there's no housekeeping at the university dormitories or those types of amenities. Okay, and if there's any questions about that or anything else about the lodging, you can enter them in the chat box and we'll be sure to answer your questions.
You will, just to clarify, I can see that someone else had written this, that there will be basics for your stay. I'm not sure, I'd say that we provide, we have towels, blankets, anything that you're going to need to sleep that, I think Jen already mentioned that, but just want to make sure that is clear. So it's just more some of these other things like toiletries. I see that you mentioned specifically hair dryer, iron, but what I would recommend is that if those are things that you absolutely need, maybe talk to the other people you're traveling with, and maybe you can consolidate so that one person from your group can bring those things as opposed to everyone packing an iron with them. Great. Are there any, I'm just going to see if there's anyone else that has some specific from our team that wants to clarify about any additional aspects of the conference that we may have covered, that we may have wanting to add a little bit more information. Okay, we're really looking forward to seeing everyone at the conference. Once again, if you want to rewatch this webinar, go to iEARN2018.org/webinars and visit the FAQ page. Next slide, please. And of course, email us with any questions as well. I just want to clarify once again, emailing us at conference@us.iEARN.org with any of your questions is the absolute best way to reach us. If you email and call us individually, unless it's, we've already been speaking with you in this way, please email us at conference. It's the best way to make sure that we are going to get back to you in the most timely fashion, and it'll get to the right staff member. Great. Have a great day, everyone.
Great job.